Hello, 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 hello everybody. Okay, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description, but I just want to say a couple of things before we get into it, but feel free to skip this, you know. So, first of all, I'm just experimenting with the lighting a little bit. I've just locked my exposure, and I don't know, I think it looks better. But I'm just testing it out, and the lighting isn't going to be the same in the next few videos you see because I've pre-filmed more videos before this that are going to go up after this, so there's something on my camera. So the lighting won't be consistent, but I'm just trying this out, and there'll be a few videos like this, and then if it works out I'll obviously continue that and do more with this. But anyway, that was the first thing. The second thing is, I don't think there's more background noise than usual, but because I've had lots of trouble with it lately, I'm feeling quite sensitive to it. So I'm giving this a go. I'm going to try not to cut too much out, and hopefully it's actually not more than usual and I'm just being very sensitive to it because I've had problems with it lately. Okay, now that's out the way, let's get into the video. So today's a very, very special video because the day that you are seeing this is my wedding day. So I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. It's come up so quickly and it's so exciting. But yeah, the time this is going live, I imagine we'll have finished our meal and we'll be gearing up to do some speeches. So it's really exciting. But anyway, so I thought it would be fun to kind of go through the planning process with you, to like talk about it, and I have a box in front of me with a bunch of different things in it, and we can just talk about it, tap on stuff, just have a chill time. And I'm planning another wedding video that's going to go up sometime next month, and that will be actually talking about the wedding day itself. But shall we just get started? I think we shall. So, first of all, we got engaged, my fiance and I got engaged in September 2021, which feels forever ago now. And that is when we started planning, kind of. I mean, before we got engaged, we had quite a few things planned out. We had like pictures that we screenshotted for inspiration, and I'm pretty sure by that point we'd already chosen the venue that we wanted to have. We hadn't like gone to the venue, but we'd just fallen in love with this venue online, and yeah, so we were pretty prepared. My fiance didn't know when I was going to propose, but we talked about marriage a lot and kind of talked about what we'd want it to be and all that kind of stuff beforehand. So yeah, but so we went to the venue. Now let's see if I have something relating to the venue. Obviously I'm gonna have to be careful because some of this stuff is gonna be it's gonna have like details on it, you know, like addresses and all that kind of business, so I'm gonna be careful. But I think what I'm gonna be looking for is gonna be right at the bottom, but that's okay. In case you skipped the intro thing, I was just saying I'm just gonna try not to edit this down too much. I prefer the less edited content when it comes to ASMR generally, but you know, sometimes you've got to edit stuff out, so I don't know if it will end up as unedited as I'd like it to be. I've just realised that I forgot to roll up my sleeves because this one or that one, whichever one, has lost a button, so I need to roll the sleeves up. But yeah, let's see if we can find this wedding document that I'm looking for. Well, actually, we can start with something quite fun. see that? You can't, but let me take off there we go, you can see it there. It was very difficult to find a planner that wasn't gender specific, like it would be like grooms, you know, whatever, and brides, whatever, and we were like, well, but we finally found one. Actually, I might link it down below. It's from So Sublime Stationery from Etsy, so you can go and check that out. But it's really cool. They have some yeah. Just let's see if we can focus on it. It's just because the ring light is not in a good position for actual objects, but anyway, it has a content. So you've got budget, venue, ceremony / reception, guests, bridesmaids, maid of honour, flower girl, stationery, photography, flowers, the cake, the dress, dresses / shoes, gift list, food and drink, transport, accommodation, gifts and favours, band / DJ, other entertainment, hair / makeup accessories, hen do, wedding night, honeymoon, rings, insurance, miscellaneous. So it's pretty cool. I don't think there is anything that I can show you inside because, again, it's like addresses and money stuff and all that kind of thing, and names of people, like full names. So I'm not sure if I can show you anything in here. We actually we haven't used it as much as we were hoping because often when we are thinking of things, like writing down things, we don't have it to hand, we just have our phones, so we make a note on our phones and then we forget to write it down in here. But we have added to it, and maybe we'll add some other things before the wedding comes around. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. So let's get through here. I might not go through in like chronological order like I am looking for that wedding file that I'm thinking of, but I might just kind of talk as I come across things if I just want to go for that. I don't know. I don't plan these videos, I just do them. You couldn't tell, could you? Kidding. There's going to be some stuff that I'm going to leave for later though, like the things I just picked up. I will talk about this. Let's talk about this. So, here is a leaflet. I'm going to just show it for you there. So, my friend is this artist. This is her leaflet, and we had her do the what they call placeholder names. So I can't remember. I think these might have just been examples rather than, yeah, these are the example ones. The actual ones look a bit different to this. Actually, I'm gonna get them. They're just over there. I'm just gonna grab them really quickly. 1 second. Okay, hello. I'm back. So, placeholder names. I think I showed this in a video before, but look how cool it is. It is literally amazing. I wonder if I can get it to focus on it. Just for a second. It wants to focus on my face. I know it does, but anyway, it's really cool. She copied like a font. She asked what font we wanted and then copied it, which was absolutely amazing. And then she does like a bunch of different patterns. So there's like dots, there's like triangles, all in rainbow because we are going for a rainbow themed wedding, being LGBTQ+. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and she's just so talented, and I'm going to leave a link to her down below as well, but that is her leaflet. So these are going to be going on the tables. We have the centerpieces are kind of paper bags, and in the paper bags, along with some other things, we're going to have leaflets. So yeah, a massive thank you to her. She's absolutely incredible. I can't show you this because it has people's full names on it and stuff. But do you want to know how many tries it took to do the table plan? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's a 10th one down there. It was the 10th iteration of the table plan that we went for. I think we started making the table plan I actually think it was about a year before, so of course we didn't have the RSVPs back and stuff. We hadn't sent out the invites yet, so we were assuming, just for the sake of doing a rough table plan, that everyone was coming, and then like seeing what would work with that. And you know, there's so much stuff that they don't tell you about wedding planning before you go into it. It's actually, there's just so much stuff. There's a new question every day. Now, I love planning, and I knew for me the planning itself wouldn't be stressful. And same with my fiance. She's an amazing planner. So we were like, this is going to be really fun. But I will tell you, there are a lot of things that you don't think about until they randomly come up, and then you have to email the venue quite a lot. At least that's what it was in our case. But why was I mentioning that? Oh yeah, like we had a certain number of people. We had to figure out how many big tables we had and how many little tables we had, because they only have like a certain amount can fit into the space. We had to figure out what kind of top table we wanted and where we wanted it, and there's a lot. I mean, that's a tiny thing, but there are a lot of other even smaller things that just came up. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about it. You know, we're gonna get through this box and kind of just talk about stuff, and I might share some tips and tricks or some things to expect in case you're planning or going to plan at some point in the future. But yeah, so that's a table plan. That was one of the hardest parts. I tell you what the hardest part though was about this. I'm gonna get you a thing, hang on. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna have to hide some of this. Is that hidden enough? Okay, yeah, that's good. We designed the invites, the RSVPs, and the table plan, as well as some notes that go in the paper bags that I mentioned. Just because I use Photoshop all the time, I do editing, and so does my fiance. And we just thought it'd be nice, like a personal touch. But one of the hardest parts was wording the invites. In fact, let's tap on this invite just over here, just gently. It was hysterics at 3 in the morning. I mean, we were like laughing and crying, but like crying out for laughter. Because it's really difficult for us. We weren't going for like the really, really formal type of invite, like the we cordially invite you kind of thing. We wanted it to sound like us and have like a friendly tone while still being, you know, this is a serious thing. Let's, like, not serious in like a sad way, but like it's a big deal, you know. And we do want people, you know, you don't want people turning up in a shirt and jeans. You know, it's really difficult to explain, but it was so hard to word them. We spent so long just agonising over every word, and we were looking up examples. And for the RSVP cards, which I'll get out, are our RSVP cards. Hang on. So here's what we ended up having. Oh. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see that. So yeah, we really, when we looked up examples, the RSVPs examples that came up, some of them just, I mean, obviously if it's your thing that's absolutely fine, it's just for us. It felt very not us, and it said, instead of like available to attend and unavailable, it said regretfully decline and politely accept. And I was like, my friends who are like my age, it just doesn't feel like I'm quite young, and it just doesn't, I don't know, like some of them might want to aggressively accept, like in a happy aggressive way, and the people who decline might not be so regretful about it, you know? It just didn't flow. So, but we got there eventually, but it was so difficult. The hours, every single word. And we had to figure out a way to, you know, get the right guess, because some people we weren't inviting, like, it was all very complicated, but we finally found a wording that pretty much worked. We did run into a couple of problems with the RCPs, that people didn't understand the number of guests attending bit, and stuff, so we had some questions to answer, which is absolutely fine, but we probably could have worded it somehow slightly better. But anyway, yeah, absolutely hilarious. Okay, people get very creative with their RCP replies sometimes as well, which is really nice. People write lovely things or do like funny illustrations and stuff, which is cool. We never got all our physical RSVPs back. We knew he was coming because they said so verbally after we chased them up a couple of times. And also we had to then chase them up to get their dietary requirements, but we did get everyone eventually, even though we never got all the physical RSVPs back. We did get some via email and some via text, but the verbal ones we were just like, please, are you vegetarian? You know, all that kind of stuff. I knew there was going to be some like chasing people, but by the time our RSVP deadline came around, we hadn't even got half of the RSVPs back, which was really I won't lie to you, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, like, okay, like very important people hadn't RSVP'd, we were like, you know, obviously people are busy, but it's just like, that was a time. Just wait for them to come through. I think, yeah, these plus a couple of others that were in different forms. These were the ones we got back right here. Yeah. The planning itself wasn't stressful, at least most of the time to us. I mean, you know, we had a bit of a panic with the supplier at one point, confusion, all that kind of stuff, but the most stressful thing about wedding planning, I will say, is organising people, like your guests and you know, all the people coming. It's really difficult because everyone has different needs. I mean, the table plan is one thing, because you've got to think, oh, can I sit those two people together, or will that kind of cause a clash? That's one thing you have to think about. You then have to think about, well, for me, like some of my close family, like how are they going to get to the location, and all that kind of stuff, and oh, how's it all going to work on the morning, and you know, and then you've got to think, there's some guests with very specific dietary requirements, or like something that you have to tell the venue, and then you have to make sure that they've got it in their notes, and then if they don't have it in their notes, then you have to like go, oh hi, sorry, there's just this little thing. And then I mean, getting bridesmaids' dresses sorted was a bit chaotic because they live all over the place, and it was just trying to get everyone organised and on the same page and all that kind of stuff. People organising, for people who do it, I applaud you, okay, because it is difficult. Like, it's fun, but oh my goodness, we had a lot of stuff to sort, but it's all gone smoothly now, so it's all good. All guests all sorted, hooray. But yeah, the actual planning is really fun. It's just that you will have like a million questions. Genuinely, I think there was a time where I was emailing the venue like almost every day, like, what about this? Like, I tried to save up the questions and then send them in batches so it was less, you know, but just things come up. I mean, you have to think about how everything's gonna, you know, even for the photography, you have to say, okay, well, who's going to go around from each side and grab the people who need to be in the photo. For the videographer, you know, some of them are ours required, you know, you have to have this ready for us and this and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, there's a lot of things that you just think, or like when you first get into planning, you're like, oh wow, I did not think about that. I just assumed, you know. Anyway, I'll keep going through this box and stop rambling at you. Honestly, it's been so much fun to plan though. It has been so much fun. I cannot stress that enough. But it's definitely not for everyone. I can understand why some people need wedding planners, because some people don't like thinking about all the details, like all the planning and organising. Like, that might stress some people out, and I totally get that. It's just, I absolutely love kind of, even though there's so much stuff to do, like taking it off and looking at the month and going, okay, this needs to be done this month and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll move on. This is quite exciting. So my fiance is wearing a dress. I've got no idea what it looks like, and I decided to wear a suit, and I was always going to wear a suit when I thought I was straight, when I was a kid. I never wanted to wear a dress. I always said, even, well, I didn't say then because I thought I was straight, but now I'm saying, even if I married a man, I would have worn a suit, because the dress life is not for me. Not that kind of dress. I sometimes wear dresses, you know. I'm not putting myself into, I always wear this kind of thing, but I feel more comfortable in a suit, and I definitely wouldn't want to wear a wedding dress. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but before I went for my suit consultation thing, I ordered some samples from the place I was going to, and I thought I'd just show you those and kind of make some sounds with them. So this was one I was considering for the jacket. It's pretty nice. I guess it's not too dissimilar for what I've gone for, which I will show you some samples in a second of what I've actually gone for. But yeah, when I was originally thinking about suits, I was absolutely sure I was going to go for herringbone, which is this one right here. I haven't gone for herringbone in the end, just because I found one material that I really liked, and then it just didn't kind of vibe with it, match with it, so I ended up not going for herringbone. It's pretty cool though. This place gives you like 5 free samples. It's pretty cool. Here's another one. I did find that wedding file, by the way. I know this is very disorganised, but I was thinking this for the jacket as well, maybe. Yeah, I know this is kind of like not in order and I'm just talking about things as they come up, but I guess I just kind of fancy doing it that way. And I don't think I'm gonna show the wedding file after all, because I feel like it just has too much information on it. But the venue we found online, like I said, and it was pretty much the first. It might have been the first one we found, but the pictures just looked exactly what exactly what we were looking for. And the thing is, the other venues that had websites, the websites kind of put me off them quite a lot. I mean, other than they didn't look as nice, the venues for us personally, the websites just, it's really difficult to describe, but we didn't click with them and we just felt disconnected from them. But the venue we chose, the website's amazing, and it just specifically says that it's LGBTQ plus friendly, and that was a big concern for us. Like, every supplier we were like, have they got like gay stuff on there, like as examples, because otherwise I'm a bit nervous, kind of thing. It's something we had to think about, because, you know, what if you book a videographer, for example, who isn't supportive of, you know, and then you look back at your video and you look awful. Like, I don't know, it was something we had to just double check in places. But anyway, back to the swatches. Here's another one of the kind of similar fabric, but in a different shade. But anyway, let me show you my actual swatches from my actual suit, which is all done now, all ready to go. So for the jacket, I've gone for this. So probably, yeah, this camera is not doing it justice at all. It's not like patterned, really. I mean, it is a little bit. It's kind of diagonal lines, sort of. But it's like quite thick, and obviously it's February, so it's like quite good for keeping warm. It's a kind of thicker material, and it's so soft. And then for my waistcoat, I ended up going for this right here, which is a really nice pattern. Again, just a really, I ended up matching like materials, like what it was made out of, more than anything else. And then obviously the colours kind of go together, just different shades. It's really nice. And then I didn't actually bring my tie with me. I could have, I just totally forgot. But it's like a light grey, and I haven't tried it with the suit yet. I need to try it. It's just that I've been hesitant to get the suit out of its like suit bag thing, because I don't want to accidentally like crease it or something and then have to sort that out. So, but I will try it. But yeah, it's gonna look really nice. I mean, the suit just all trying that on for the first time when it was finished. It was amazing. It's so good. The lining's pretty special, but I don't have a sample of that, unfortunately. But it's so cool. So yeah, that's the suit. It's so good. The place I went was really nice. I was a little bit intimidated. I get a little bit nervous going into situations like that, because you walk in and it's like really quiet, and obviously it's meant sort of just measure you, kind of get it done, you know, no fussing kind of vibe. But the person who was measuring me and stuff, she was so nice, and really just really kind and like helped me feel more at ease, because I was quite nervous about a lot of things about it, because I didn't know what I was talking about. I knew nothing about suits. I knew I wanted to wear one, but I knew nothing about them. So literally every time she was like, "So do you want this?" and I was like, "Can you tell me what that is?" I had no idea. Like, she was using the technical names for a lot of the things, and even some of the things that didn't have like technical names, I was just like, I've got no idea what that is and where it would go and how that would look. But she was so helpful. Like, she explained everything. She brought out like example suits, and yeah, it was a really, really nice experience. I wish there was a suit shop. I didn't manage to find like a suit shop, at least. I don't know if there is one that exists, but I wish there was a suit shop that treated that treated it as if it was like a wedding dress shop, where you go in and they give you like mini cakes and stuff. Basically what I'm saying is I love food. But yeah, it was hard to find a place that did kind of suits for women that weren't business. Like, a lot of them were just like business suits with like pencil skirts, and I was like, what about wedding suits and all that kind of stuff? And there were lots of logistical problems with trying to get me a suit, because there were just things. But that place did an amazing job and was so used to doing women's wedding suits of all different shapes and sizes. Like, they're really good. They're really, really good. And yeah, the person who looked after me was great. So yeah. So moving on from the suit, because I've definitely talked about it enough. I can talk for England. We know this. These are, sorry, 1 second. These are our table numbers, so they're gonna go on the paper bags, and they're pretty cool. We're actually not having a table 12 now, so, but yeah, these are off Etsy. I'm gonna try and link stuff down below if I remember, and if I can find it and stuff. But yeah, pretty cool. Okay, well, this video might be a little bit long, so I forgot. I got these. Let me just grab. There are so many like tiny things that you just need to ask. It's crazy. Like, I needed to figure out if I was getting ready at the venue, because obviously they had like a bride's room, but they didn't have, like, they used to have a groom's room, but they don't anymore. And I was like, okay, can I like get ready in the accommodation I'm gonna stay at? And there was just a bunch of logistical stuff like to figure out about that, and there's that whole thing about will the registrar move out of the way for the first kiss, or like do we need to ask them? That kind of stuff. There's how many seats are on either side of the aisle, like, and how many do we reserve for people, and how does the confetti work? Like, do we give each person a bag, or there's just a bunch of things. Speaking of confetti, actually, I was going to show you something else, but I'll quickly show you the confetti. We have quite a lot of confetti, because again, rainbow, and some of it is going on the tables. So this is our purple confetti. I don't think the camera's going to do these justice. Yeah. Blue confetti. These are all dried flowers. Oh, they smell really nice. this whole thing, we decided to have disposable cameras in the paper bag so people could take photos. Partially inspired by a wedding I went to, partially inspired by other things, but mainly inspired by friends. Because at one of the friends' weddings, they have disposable cameras, and it's just such a cool idea. There's no kind of photo that looks like a disposable camera photo, so. But we had a bit of a panic with those because we ordered them, and then we kept getting emails to say, so sorry, we're in contact with the supplier, we'll let you know when they've dispatched, and it took months because disposable cameras, they need to like order them in specifically when they're ordered, and it was getting close, and we were like, are they gonna arrive? And then they did, so that's okay, but we honestly thought we were genuinely getting close to having to think of a plan B. But yeah, there's orange lily flower, so pretty. Yellow sunflower petals, which is my favourite flower, by the way. We're also having like lots of different suppliers, and figuring out like what time they're arriving, what time they're setting up, and where they're going to be, and you know, if they need food and stuff. That was all part of a process of planning. Yeah, there's just so many things. It's really fun, but it's just, I'm just saying, like, there is so much more to it than I thought there was when I got into it. And that's not a bad thing at all. It's just like, the more you think about it, the more you're like, wow, I literally need a million answers to all these tiny little questions now. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I just love planning stuff. We actually ended up not having quite, like, we were going to go for a specific kind of specific bouquets for the bridesmaids, but it came to a lot more than it was a lot more expensive than we thought it was going to be. Like, I guess we just didn't really know the cost of flowers, and we were like, okay, I think we're going to need to pull back a little bit. You know, it's all working out now actually, because it's going to look really nice. Okay, yeah, that's all the confetti. I think we also have mixed confetti, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. These are the confetti. This confetti is going on the tables. I think the confetti that gets thrown is like multicolored, like a mix of flowers. I don't know where it is right now. It might be in a box over there. That smells so good. So I'll show you this next. There's so much I could talk about and show, because like I've been saying, there is so much to it. Like, there's just so much. There's so much. So obviously, maybe in like a few years, I don't know, maybe I could do talking about other things. I don't know. That might never happen. This might be it. But I'm just kind of going with the flow on this and seeing what comes up for conversation and stuff. Because that's the kind of video I like to make the most. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to show you guys this actually. So don't mind that, everything's fine. 1 second. I can't remember how to do this. Hang on a second, bear with me. Just listen to the nice, hopefully nice sounds. Oops. It's quite tricky. Just bear with me a second. Can you guess what it is? Or have you seen glimpses? I don't know if I've accidentally shown bits of it to the camera. My fiance usually assembles this, so I actually am failing at this pretty badly, but I'm getting there. I'm almost there now. I think I understand. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is how it's going to be. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, let's see if the light can just... It's really difficult to get this my phone to focus on objects because it wants to focus on my face. But yeah, this is our cake topper. Little custom Lego figures of us in all our glory on a tiny table. We need to get a piece that connects here because right now it's just my fiance's dress holding it together. But isn't that so cool? Absolutely love it. Okay, let's see. So, I think I can show you this. Here's what my fiance drew for the table. So that's the paper bag, the flower petals, and then like flower heads. And that's the top table there. Yeah, there's the paper bag, look. Obviously they're going to be different colours, but yeah. I don't know what all of these things are. Oh, that was a decorator's pricing list. Second. I'm gonna have to tidy this all up in a minute. That's okay. Just quickly, might as well show you some more swatches. So these were two different yellow swatches that we got while we were figuring out what we were going to have for one of the bridesmaids' dresses. We didn't end up going for either of these. I believe they are separate colours. They might not be, they might just be. I don't know, we didn't end up going for this anyway. But yeah. It's on the bottom of this file. Here's another sketch from my fiance of what the stones might look like. It's really cool. That's official documentation. Yeah, that's all very just addresses and full names and all that kind of stuff. So the last thing I think I have to show you before giving you maybe a couple of tips and tricks. I want to show you the wedding ones we're going to be having. They come in this box, and I think you open it this way, so hang on, let me just tap on it first. So pretty. Okay, ready? Here we go. the camera, I literally try to take a photo of them, and it just doesn't like how shiny they are. It can't handle it, but they are gorgeous. Like, take my word for it, they are absolutely amazing. So I've got the slightly thicker band, which is this one right here, and my fiance has this one because she has an engagement ring. I just have this, which is it's symbolic, but it's not like an engagement ring. So I won't be wearing this on this hand anymore, and I will just be wearing the wedding band. But they are so beautiful in real life. I wish the camera did them justice. Okay. Yeah, so to wrap this up, just a few tips and tricks. I guess the first thing I would say is, if you're getting into planning now, or if you're going to plan in the future, these are just things I'd recommend and stuff. And the first thing is, expect to have a lot of questions. Like I've been saying, it's insane the amount of little things you think of, like, are the guests gonna drink before or after this point? You know, are we doing how family friendly does the playlist need to be? Like, who's coming, who's staying the full time? Because we didn't go for a DJ. We've got like a playlist of just dance music. We had to listen to it back and just make sure there weren't any very, very clear like things that would make you feel awkward if you were with young children or grandparents and that kind of thing. And there was one that we had on there originally that we listened to, and we're like, we cannot have that on there. I'd forgotten about that section. And so there's like so many questions, things that you just wouldn't ever think of. There's just been so many things. Like I can't think of good examples right now, but you're gonna have way more questions than you think you're gonna have. Even if you're expecting a lot, there's gonna be even more. I personally find planning really fun. I absolutely love it. I love organising and stuff, but if you are the kind of person who gets really stressed around that, it might be a good idea to look into a wedding planner if that's within like budget and stuff, because you know, you don't want the lead up to your wedding to be stressful. Like, that is the last thing you want. Obviously there's still going to be a lot that you're thinking about, but you don't want it to just be, have I sorted this out? Have I sorted that out? I know it's too late to get this supplier, that kind of stuff. Like, make sure the planning style works for you. Don't expect your RSVPs to come back. They're not all going to come back, and in our case a lot of them didn't, and we did have to chase up. But just make sure you leave a nice amount of time before the wedding so that you're not chasing people up as the venue are like, please give me your like guest list and stuff. Just, you know, make sure that's all in advance. We also did save the dates before the invites, because we know members of the family can be either they book very far in advance, or, you know, they may not remember. It's, if your family is like that as well, it's a good idea, save the dates. We did save the dates with paperless post and then did physical invites, and that really worked because it just makes sense to do it that way for us, at least. Oh, here's a good one. Make sure to tell your guests like the start and end time of the wedding when you know it, because we had the start time on the invite, but we completely forgot to tell people when it was going to end, and we'd already sent them like taxi lists and hotels and stuff, and it's like, but when do they know to book taxis for? And we realised this quite late on, and we're like, oh, we need to tell them. So definitely make sure to tell your guests. You know, when the wedding is going to end, you got to think, okay, yes, this has been my whole life for like a few months, you know, this is all I've been thinking about, like planning. Not all, but you know what I mean? It takes up a lot of brain space, and you've just got to go, but if I'm a guest, I know none of this, and, you know, go from there. definitely get your suppliers booked in as early as you can. We did it very far in advance, to the point where suppliers were like, oh really, that far in advance next year, like that kind of thing. But it's a good idea, especially if you're getting married in summer. Those suppliers get booked up so quickly. We didn't have that much of a problem because we're not getting married in summer, but it's a good idea to just, you know, once you got them, you're happy with them, you've secured them, then that just alleviates any kind of last minute, oh no, I haven't got this sorted. Now, you'll want to, it kind of goes along with the chasing people up. You really do need to, if you're not getting a reply and deadlines are coming up, it's difficult to, you don't want to be naggy, right? You don't want to like be mean or forceful, not at all. Just in a very friendly way, you do need to just say to people, hi, this deadline's coming up, so sorry to be chasing this up so soon, but is there any possibility you could give me this information? Like, just be really gentle, but still have that, hey, this deadline's here, like, please. But, you know, just chase things up, but be friendly about it. Let's not be bridezillas. Obviously people are busy, and especially like suppliers have so much going on that they need to organise, so just be patient, don't assume the worst. If they haven't got back to you, it's probably because you've got lost in their inbox, because they have so many emails coming in. So just be patient, and then, you know, give it as much time as you can, but then chase them up in a polite way. The more friendly you are with your suppliers, the better, in my view. There are probably a million things I could say. It basically, be prepared, and if that kind of planning doesn't work for you, find someone who can plan it with you / for you. You know, if you need help, you need help. It's just, some people can't do this kind of planning, and that's okay. But then again, we are having quite a big do. We've always wanted quite a bit, both of us separately wanted quite a big wedding, so we do have quite a lot to plan, whereas maybe you've got less to plan, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, obviously all these tips and tricks just worked for me, they might not work for you, but it's just what I think. And this is the most important tip / trick I'm going to tell you right now. We are having a BSL interpreter at our wedding because I have a hard of hearing sibling, and he has a deaf girlfriend, and we thought it would be helpful to have an interpreter, of course. And I'm so glad, not only for my brother's girlfriend, not only for her sake, but for my own, because she needs, the interpreter needs what the registrar's going to say, as well as your personal vows and speeches and stuff, or at least that's how it worked for us. Like, they need to prepare it and just, you know, get it in the head. Now, so I had to ask our registrars for a transcript of what they're going to say, and we'd filled in the option form, which basically, they ask you a bunch of questions. They ask you how many people are attending, do you want this in your ceremony, do you want this? And from what we picked, we were like, cool. But they don't tell you everything they're going to say, okay? They don't, in that options form, they do not tell you everything they're going to say. And when that transcript came through, there was a lot of things that we were very uncomfortable with that they were going to say, and we were really confused and just in shock. And I've emailed them. They haven't got back to me yet with a reply, but the person I was communicating with said, I don't see a problem with changing the things that you want to change, but I will pass it on to the leader of the group. So I haven't got a reply from the leader yet, but I think it will all be fine. But guys, get a transcript, because you don't want any nasty surprises on your wedding day. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but I certainly didn't, it didn't even occur to me that they were going to say things outside of the options form. One of the things is we're both having our dads walk us down the aisle, but for us personally, we're just not really keen on the sentiment behind the actual like giving away your daughter thing. It's just not something we're comfortable with personally. And so we put in the options form that they're going to be walking us down the aisle, and I don't know, maybe we should have assumed there was going to be some kind of like handing over from father-daughter procedure, but we didn't assume that. And then when we got the transcript through, we were like, oh no, that's not the message we want to go for us. So yeah, hopefully that can be changed. But there were other things, it wasn't just that, which might have been an oversight on our part, perhaps. I guess I didn't know that was... Anyway, I thought that would be like a separate option, I guess. But there were other things that just went, oh, okay. Because obviously there's the legal stuff, but outside of the legal stuff, there was a lot of stuff that we just weren't... We have a few non-binary people coming, and they say ladies and gentlemen, and we were like, oh, okay, we don't want to make people feel left out. But there were other things as well. There was a random poem in there that we weren't keen on. There was just stuff, okay? There was just that there was more than that. But what I'm trying to say is, you may think that your options form says everything, but it doesn't. So get a transcript. I felt bad asking for one after... Obviously I didn't feel bad the first time because it's like the BSL interpreter needs it, of course, and she still needs it, but after I asked for one with the changes made, and I was like, oh, I know this is work for someone, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time I need to know what's going to go down at the ceremony. So yeah, definitely get your transcripts. That's all I'm going to say. And that's it. That's my tips and tricks. There's probably more. If you have any questions, you can write them in the comments below. Obviously, I might not know your kind of wedding style. It might be very different from mine, but I'm happy to just have a chat with you about all this if you are also thinking of getting married or whatever. Anyway, that is all from me for now. I have rambled on and on and on. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.